You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley. I have a cat, 2 sweets, the travel kitty, and a big girlfriend, Angel's really pretty. I have a pony and we share a big horse. We have a big yard. Yeah, we have to, of course. I have a pool. In the summer I stay cool. Think of a fountain, live in the mountain, live high on the hog. Need to be a spokes dog. I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley.
Woof and Super Smiles. Welcome to a Super Smiley Adventure on Pet Life Radio, the largest pet radio network in the world. I'm Megan Blake, the pet lifestyle coach, here with my handsome co-host, 2-time shelter dog, Super Smiley, who's the ambassador of kindness for State Farm. And Super Smiley was also just awarded the Ambassador of Kindness title for the Animal Film Festival for the 3rd year in a row. Go, Super Smiley! As for me, I'm the pet lifestyle coach. I travel the country with Smiley, helping people adopt the right pet for their lifestyle, and then I help train them so they keep that pet forever. And here on a Super Smiley Adventure, we explore adventures where animals lead. These could be adventures for fun, or missions of animal advocacy, or inner journeys of self-discovery where our pets become our healers and teachers. And Super Smiley's been taking me on amazing adventures. We just completed a Super Smiley Flash Mob tour for kindness that included a mega Flash Mob for kindness at the University of Georgia. Go Dogs! And we just released a music video of the full-length song, Kindness It's Super Smiley. Our show here on Pet Life Radio inspired our amazing super producer, Mark Winter, to write a song about our messaging, which includes sharing kindness around the world. And we're so excited to announce that this song just received 2 nominations from the Dog Writers of America Awards. And both videos are up for Peabody Awards. And Super Smiley narrates everything. It's super cute, so you got to check out his kindness videos advocating for animals and sharing the values animals teach at kindnessfilms.com. And then you can share them to help us share kindness around the world. Or just Google Super Smiley kindness and they'll all pop right up. And right along with these themes of grand adventures, animal advocacy, and getting out there for shelter animals is our amazing guest today. She's a journalist, a longtime NBC correspondent. You've seen her many times on The Today Show. She's an award-winning author, and I first met her at the Humane Society of the United States Genesis Awards, where she won a Genesis Award for her work in the media advocating for animals. And I could go on and on and on, but let me just stop right here and welcome our dear friend, Jill Rappaport. Jill, welcome to a Super Smiley Adventure.
Oh, Megan, it's so great to be with you again. It's our year anniversary. Last year at this time, I was sitting with you at Global, and I'm so sad that you're not going to be with me.
Jill.
I'm just hanging out, but I am so impressed. I was listening to that introduction. I cannot believe everything you and Super Smiley have achieved in the last year. Oh, my goodness. That's all needs a massage.
Jill, thank you so much. And right back at you. You are amazing. And what I love about, first of all, I love so many things about you. I love your positive energy. I love that you're so articulate and advocating for animals. But what I really, really love about you and about people who do this is that you use your talents. You use every single skill you have to share and to help animals. And congratulations on that, Jill. I love that.
Oh, well, listen, you're preaching to the choir. You know, you're the same as me. And as we've discussed so many times, we've always said when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. This isn't work for either one of us. It's our oxygen, right, Megan?
Absolutely. It is our oxygen. I love that you said that, Jill. You must be a writer. I love that.
Trying.
And Jill,
no, but listen, you've done the same work, and you know and you understand firsthand when you give a second chance to a rescue animal, you're the one that gets rescued. Anybody that's ever adopted will be the first to admit that they've been saved. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yes. Who rescues who? 1,000,000,000%. And Jill, as you've been alluding to or talking about, we have so many things we could talk about with you. And I know you have some amazing work that you're doing very, very specifically to help pets who are in shelters. But I want to give our listeners a real personal view of who you are. First of all, Smiley and I just adore you. We adore you and your work for dogs. So let's just start there. Why are dogs, and especially shelter dogs, so important in your life?
Well, it's funny. Years ago, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and I always rescued animals. I brought home a stray little puppy when I was 7 years old, and, the poor little thing, I mean, I don't even know if we had fleas and ticks back then. We're talking many, many years ago, but it was pretty, matted and bad shape, and everybody thought I was crazy. Like, where did you get that animal? Did it come from the alley? I have only rescued and adopted. I have never gone to a breeder. And, again, in my adult life, I'll never forget when I got Hampton. I found him, it was 1986, and I found him at the 7-Eleven in Hampton, and I was either going to name him 7-Eleven or Hampton. So I thought, okay, Hampton has a better ring. But that dog, he had over 66 ticks on him. We thought he was 3 years old at the time. At first I posted signs and took out ads because heaven forbid he's lost. You would never want to keep someone's dog. You'd break someone's heart for life. So we went through a rigorous search trying to find the owners. No one claimed him. And he was so sick, Megan, when I got him. And I had that dog for over 17 years, which means he was almost 21.
Oh, my goodness, Jill.
Then I went on to Rainbow Bridge. Yeah, because they said minimum 3+, and I had him 17+. So
wow.
I have to tell you, and, I remember my friends in the Hamptons, they thought, you're not putting that dog in this car. He was covered in ticks. And, people, even in the 80s, as you know, and listen, there are people now who still think of shelter animals as second-class citizens. Mm-hmm. And I have one friend, and I've told this story because it upsets me so much. She went to a breeder, got her dog, and I was really upset with her. Not to say there's not some, reputable breeders out there, but with all of the animals waiting in cages across the country on doggy death row, people really should go to a shelter first. I know you agree with that.
I agree 1,000,000,000%. All my animals have always been rescues, yes.
Always. And I said to her, I can't believe you didn't do that. You're in the public eye. You have a responsibility. She said, well, my dog is like a shelter dog because she has so many issues. And I said, you know what? That's the attitude which is filling up the cages. People think they're damaged goods. And my rescue animals, Ruby, she's the one I travel with. My others are off. And I'm telling you, they're spectacular animals. And not only do they not have issues, they're so much better than some of the foo-foo, perfect, wonderful dogs that people paid a fortune for from the breeder. So
Jill, let me interject. Let me just second everything you've said. Just throw this in here that Super Smiley is a 2-time shelter dog. And at the top of the show, you heard me say he's a therapy dog, crisis response dog, and the ambassador of kindness for some pretty major brands. And my German Shepherd Angel is a 4-time shelter dog, and she also qualified as a pet partner dog. So I agree with you 1,000,000,000%. These shelter dogs rock. Okay, and tell us about Ruby.
Amazing.
I want you to talk about Ruby, your little traveling companion. I've met Ruby, so let me give her a little kiss through the radio here. Hey, Ruby.
Ruby, she just opened one eye like, Mama, leave me alone. Would you believe we're literally in the car? We drove from New York to Orlando. Okay, because Ruby, the only time I ever had her on a plane was when I rescued her. I got her out of a shelter in Los Angeles. She had 1 day to live. And she was in the back alley, day 29, and she was 5 years old, they said. We think she was a little older. And she was up, like, on her, how dachshunds will stand and beg on their little hind legs.
Yes.
And I said, oh, my goodness. We ended up leaving with 3 dogs that day. One didn't make it. He was so sick. My Ruby, and the other one we got for Brian Gumbel. It was the brother of the one that didn't make it. So we saved 3 dogs. Oh. Ruby was unbelievable. She'd never been on a plane. I flew home with her. And halfway across the country, literally, she started going a little bonkers, and the gentleman sitting across from me, good-looking guy, he's in the entertainment industry, and he said, oh, I'm in the movie industry. He said, I'd like to give you my card. And I went, how nice, thank you, thinking, ooh, flirting a little bit. He said, no, really, because we ever do a remake of Cujo, I'd like to consider your dog.
Oh,
that's how crazy. And that's a true story.
Oh, my gosh.
At her little carrier. I finally, at the time, I didn't have a service card for her. Now she actually is, providing different services where, I can't take her on a plane. But the truth is, she literally, I thought they were going to have to land in Nebraska. It was that bad.
Oh, man.
So
she did not take to flying, no.
Oh, my goodness. I drive everywhere. But you know how cute she is. And she has been the face and voice for so many of my projects. Like my church, you heard about Shelter Shake. We're doing the new improved version. This is Ruby's toy. And Ruby made it a success because she's obsessed with it. This dog has such a personality. And again, this dog would have been put to sleep the next day, and I can't even put into words the last 4 years, the joy she's brought me, the laughter she's brought me. Everything about her is just melts my heart. And, you think about all the animals that are on day 29 right now.
Absolutely. There's so many.
Right?
There are so many. And my German Shepherd Angel, I said she was a 4-time shelter dog. They were going to put her down that night, and they would not even let me look at her. She had berserk written on her
German
paperwork.
Shepherd, right?
The German Shepherd. They would not show it. I mean, I just stood there. May I see this dog? No. May I see this dog? No. And they finally realized I wasn't going to leave. I wasn't going to stop saying, may I see dog, till they showed me the dog. And I ran with her, and she looked at me right in the eyes. I kind of pushed her over, and she was fine. She was like, why'd you do that? What are we going to do now? And it took me 15 seconds. I said, there's nothing wrong with this dog. I'll take her. She was very panicked, terrified, because she had been German Shepherds are extremely sensitive dogs, and she had not been given the right structure, the calm structure. And she's a fabulous girl, and she's beautiful. So I'm just telling that story to second that there are many Rubies, there are many Angels, there are many Super Smileys. There are millions out there. So everybody, go get you one, right, Jill? Go get you one.
Exactly. My German Shepherd, who's, in heaven, my Jack, changed my life.
Yeah.
My German, there's nothing, those German Shepherds, I'll tell you, there's such soul to them, right?
Yes.
They're just unbelievable.
Sensitive,
and
yes.
Really, I mean, he truly changed my life. And I always said he was a little lab personality. He was a kind of a timid little boy,
Yeah.
But they're just the most amazing dogs. And again, he was abandoned on the street and traumatized from it. But it's amazing. Look at Smiley. I mean, that dog. People that obviously everybody knows your dog smiles. Okay,
He does. Yes.
I tell people, and they say, "What do you mean he smiles?" And I send people your picture. And
thank you, Jill. Thank you.
Oh, that dog is. Remember, I leaned down and just kissed him right on the lip.
I do, because he'll kiss back. He definitely kisses. He loves the girls.
I love him so much.
Well, thank you, Jill. Oh, he loves you too. We love being with you and all of your dogs. And Jill, I want to give my listeners more background on you. Getting back to your journalism background, you and I first met at the Humane Society of the United States. Genesis Awards. I don't know if you remember when we very, very first met. You had won a Genesis Awards for your work in the media advocating for animals. And I want to let everyone know, I describe the Genesis Awards as the Academy Awards for media advocating for animals. Winners include Ellen DeGeneres, Paul McCartney for his work to stop the seal hunt in Canada. So big, big names. So to share with our listeners the magnitude of the work that you do, can you tell us the story that you did that won you the Genesis Award? Tell us about that project.
Well, believe it or not, I've been so fortunate, Megan, because I've actually won the Genesis Award 4 times, which I look at the wall.
Wow.
I look at my plaque. I was nominated twice and won 4 times. I won for various stories. I won for my Bow to Wow series on the Today Show. That was the first rescue segment ever, and I won for that. Then I won for a story I did where 125 racehorses were living off rainwater and literally fencing for protein. They're eating fencing. And I put the gentleman, he supposedly went to jail, and we saved all but 6 horses. We were able to save all, so I won for that. And then I won for a story on Nightly News. I covered this amazing woman, Ricky Shaw, who is a very, very wealthy, affluent woman and, has her Mercedes and yet drives around and saves thousands of dogs a month. She goes down, in the worst areas and rescues them, pays all their vet care. So that story, was on Nightly News, and that was very well received. And another story I won for was Johnny and Zena, the little boy who had autism and his dog Zena. Mm-hmm. Remember that?
I do remember them. They've been on our show, as a matter of fact. Yes.
Yeah. And so I broke that story on national news, and then it won the Genesis for me. It was Zena was left for death. She weighed less than a pound and was a skeleton, and she ended up finding her way to Johnny's heart, who's a little boy with autism, and the two of them have been thriving. And because of that dog, he sings, he talks. The dog completely changed his life.
Yes,
so
it
really was amazing. But, again, the Genesis, like for people that aren't in the industry, it's really such an honor. Like I look at the wall, because I have them up on the wall, and I go, oh my gosh, every time I look at them, I get a rush, because it's such a lovely honor, And again, I just feel blessed to be able to do the stories. The awards are great, and that one is particularly great. But, I just want to be able to have the voice and the wherewithal to be able to continue doing these stories, because if we don't shine the light on them, nobody knows about them.
Absolutely,
And that's
Jill.
what we have to do.
Right. And Jill, congratulations for shining the light. And it's wonderful to be recognized for this work. And again, the Genesis Awards, the recipients and nominees include like 60 Minutes, 2020, Dateline. We're talking big names. Oh, and also I do have to say that A Super Smiley Adventure has also won an honorary mention at the Genesis Awards for our 5-part series on animal rescue. Yes, at Best Friends. And my television series that was on PBS Animal Attractions TV also won an honorary mention. So, Jill, you, me, Ruby, and Super Smiley, we are out there.
and let me tell you something. Thank goodness, for your show and Pet Life Radio, too, because so many of the shows, especially yours, really focus on the plight that we're dealing with every day. And right. I'll tell you, we're their voice. Literally, that's the ASPCA slogan, we are their voice. But we all need to be their voice. Do you know what I'm saying? Every one of us has a responsibility to speak out and save and do something.
Right. Oh, and here's something fun that I do, because Smiley, he is a charismatic, handsome boy, and people come up to us at the coffee shop and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, what kind of dog is that?" And the first thing I say is, "He's a shelter dog." Before I even guess what his breed is, I always say, "Well, he's a shelter dog." Then I say, "He's probably a lab or mastiff," but I don't even go into, what kind of breed, because it doesn't matter. It's all about the spirit. I know you know exactly what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no, that's so great. And, it doesn't amaze you. Like, I got my standard poodle from Florida Little Dog Rescue, which is quite hilarious. He's 6 feet tall. But when people say, he came from a rescue, because they can't believe that a purebred, gorgeous. I said, you can find whatever you want. There's,
absolutely.
Golden Retriever rescue. There's yellow Lab rescue. There's German Shepherd rescue. People need to understand. It may take a little longer, but it's so worth the search. And listen, I don't blame people if they have a preference for a certain breed or age or type.
Right.
As long as they're going to go to a shelter, bless them. I don't care. But at least give the shelter a chance first. Go online and type in exactly what you're looking for in the shelter system. And you can find that particular group in your area or even out of state. I had a friend that got a American Bulldog from Maine. Mm-hmm. They wanted an American Bulldog and, a certain type. And, and listen, they're not easy to get adopted either. They have a lot of, all the bully breeds, as you know, are challenged.
Right. So, well, and I love that you mentioned don't be afraid to go out of state, because now there's so many volunteers who actually transport dogs just to get them to homes. There's so many resources now, and there are pilots that are volunteering their private aircraft to fly them across the country to new homes. And it's such an amazing network. Once you get a dog like that, then you have a story that you can tell. You can go to the coffee shop like me and Smiley, and people can say, "Wow, what kind of dog is that? He's so handsome." And you say, "He's a shelter dog." And tell them about the story about how he came across the country just for you. How about that? I love that.
Does therapy too. It's amazing. But I have to tell you, it's so funny that you say that, because, people still don't understand the great animals waiting in these cages, right? Don't you get so frustrated? Because it's just like if you would just go to your local shelter, first see what's there, or online and see what you're looking for. And, I love when I read these statistics that, adoption is up, that rescue is better, blah, blah, blah. I have never gone to a shelter anywhere. And wherever I'm in, the new city, wherever I go, and I travel across the country, I always check the local shelters. I've never gone in anywhere, Megan, where there wasn't one empty cage. Okay?
Oh, I haven't either. Never. And that's what we would love to see. We'd love to see all the cages empty simply because they all have found homes.
And meanwhile, there has never been an empty cage. Every cage is chock full.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
They're stacked on top of each other. So how are we doing better? Can you explain that to me?
Nope. I cannot. But that's why we're out here with this message now. And Jill, I want to hear more about your new projects. You have so many specific things coming up that are directly helping these shelter animals when we come back right after the break. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Yuppie Puppy City Kitty provides pet lovers an opportunity to earn up to 50% commission selling our premium pet products. Advocate Gina Brick says, the opportunity to share such a quality product line with other pet lovers is amazing. The support of the Yuppie Puppy City Kitty family while working the business is a true gift. Mention special code PETLIFE when you enroll today and receive 3 additional products free. Find us at www.ypckpets.com. That's ypckpets.com.
It's hard to find time for your furry family member. That's where Camp Bow Wow comes in. All-day play and overnight camp, daycare and boarding for dogs. Everything is included. Large play areas for fun and exercise. Spacious cabins, comfy cots, even live camper cams to watch from a computer or smartphone. Camp Bow Wow offers the best care and is the place to go where a dog can be a dog. For locations and more information, visit campbowwow.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back on a Super Smiley Adventure with award-winning author, journalist, and animal advocate Jill Rappaport. Welcome back, Jill.
Hey, Megan.
Hey, and Jill, I understand that on this segment you brought a friend with you. We've got Lesile Yellin, who's the Executive Vice President with Multipet. Hi, Leslie. Welcome to a Super Smiley Adventure.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here and a part of this.
Oh, we're thrilled that you're here and that Jill brought you along. And Jill, you always have an amazing game plan using all your talents to do something great for shelter pets. And I love that now you're working with Multipet. So let's go to Leslie. Leslie, first tell us about Multipet and what you all are doing as a company. Who are you?
Sure, of course. Well, Multipet's been around for over 2 decades, and we started out as a toy manufacturer and have expanded to other product lines, but we've always remembered our grassroots and why we're there, and it's really for pets and to, help promote happiness. I think that's how I explain what I do is for a living, is I'm just making happiness for all the animals that are out there. So when this opportunity came with Jill, we were so excited because we've always wanted to work with somebody that was on the same plane of thinking of helping animals out there, and there's nobody better than Jill out there. So we're so excited.
I think this is an amazing, amazing partnership that you all are forming here as well. So Jill, tell us about specifically what you're doing with the toys. What have y'all got coming on for us?
Well, we did together, and their company is so amazing. I mean, if you read about them, they're the best in the business, and that's why I'm so honored to be with Multipet. I couldn't even believe it. I kept pinching myself because we did a new and improved version. I came up with this idea called Shelter Shake, where it's a vibrating, and it's because Ruby is so obsessed with this toy. And I thought, oh my goodness, if Ruby had this toy when she was in that horrible, horrendous kill shelter for, day 29, she might have been a little less stressed, something to distract her and make her engaged. And let's be honest, when we walk into shelters, 90% of those animals are in the back of the cage, trembling. They're terrified. I thought, wouldn't it be great to come up with a toy where it would be fun, active, it would bring them joy, it would help them get engaged, so they would be more, hopefully, more desirable for adoption, where people would come and they'd see a wagging tail or they'd see the animal walk up to the cage. That's how Shelter Shake was born. This is the new, improved, really wonderful version. The one time that, I did QVC with it, and we sold out in minutes.
What I love about the toy is it's very interactive. It's not just like putting a toy down and the dog's just going to look at it. As soon as the dog interacts with it, it shakes. It makes really engaging noises. It actually, it's so fun. And she's right. Ruby is the perfect dog because she loves that toy. And if you see her playing with it, it's wonderful. And I brought home our prototypes. My dogs went crazy for it. It's very interactive, so you don't have to be there if to play with them, especially if they're in a shelter. They have a toy that's actually interactive with them directly.
I love that. And is this actually is it called the Shelter Shake toy? Is that what people would look for, the Shelter Shake toy?
The official name is Jill Rappaport Shelter Shake. And,
okay, got it.
She said that's one angle with the shelters, but for all pet owners, it makes this sound that starts up and it kind of, it reaches a crescendo, and the animal thinks, oh my goodness, I'm kind of beating this toy up. And then they think they've conquered the toy. I don't want to use another word, but they think they've conquered it because it reaches a crescendo and kind of dies down, and they're thinking, aha, I got that one. And all of a sudden, if they jump on it, it starts back up again.
That's so cute.
It's really funny. It can keep your animal engaged and And I'll tell you, Ruby's a senior, and I think it's so great for older dogs because, you know, it keeps them active and alert and just with it. You know, it's like anything. You know, older people, you know, we need something to keep our minds active, and this toy is the answer for the dogs. It's amazing.
I love that.
It's true.
And you know what?
It is ageless.
It sounds like something that cats might like as well. Have you all shown it to any kitty cats? Do cats like it?
Well, you're looking into the future. You must have read our minds. We're actually working on designs right now, and it's going to be something very similar, but more engaging for the cat personality, and it's going to be just as wonderful as the toy that Jill has now.
I love
keep
that.
Keep your eyes out for that.
I will definitely do that.
We're also hoping to do something for horses too. You know, because they can get bored in their stall. That's a
right.
Whole,
they can. Yes, I have an Arabian, and Arabians are they're very intelligent, and they need to be engaged all the time. And my horse, Starfire, has a miniature horse, and the mini is sort of his nursemaid. But horses love to play with toys. They love to kick balls. They love to do all kinds of things. So I love that you all are doing this. Congratulations. This is amazing.
Well,
it's exciting. I can't wait.
The thing with Leslie's company, you know, which is, I think, so amazing. I mean, people know that this is a need and something we have to address, but how many companies are actually doing it? Do you know what I'm saying, Megan?
Right. I love it.
Profit. And, you know, I get it. People are in business to make a living, but if we don't give back in some way, how are we ever going to help the situation? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, companies like Multipet, who so embrace this immediately and couldn't wait to be part of it, I mean, that's what you want. You don't want to have to convince people to do what's right. Am I right?
Right. Absolutely. You
and
want
also,
that fits.
One thing that I mentioned, like, there's so many toys out there, and it's beautiful that there's such a selection. And yes, this is just wonderful because of giving back. But also, we take our toys before we would ever put them on the market. We take them to independent labs and have them tested to the children's safety standard. So everything from the dyes to the materials to the pull, the strength, it's been tested, and these are safe for pets. It's not just something that we showed and put in the market. We want to make sure if my dog's going to play with it, it's going to be safe as well as anybody else's, or cat, or horse.
Oh, Leslie, I'm so glad that you mentioned that because I do see in pet stores dog toys. I say that in quotes, dog toys, but they've got the little button eyeballs, or they've got the little squeaky things that Smiley can get out in like 3 seconds, you know. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that you all specifically made these to be safe for your pets, that you would give it to your pet, right?
Absolutely,
and we're looking
100%.
And Leslie, you can speak on this too about possible different versions. As you know, you have different types of personalities in your dogs, right, Megan? Some play harder than others, right?
Yes.
So there might be variations of this toy. You know, one for dogs that really tug and pull apart. Ruby likes to rip apart everything. Little Ruby,
of course,
he goes to town. But Stanley just gently, my 6-foot-tall, you know, standard poodle, just gently licks it. I mean, he's so gentle and kind with his toys.
So sweet.
You know?
That's so sweet.
It depends on your animal, right? But you definitely want something safe, something that, you know, they can't rip apart in 5 minutes and swallow. And these are all things that people really have to take into consideration. But, you know, the message is so key, but the safety is the most important thing.
It really, really is. And I know that you both, Leslie and Jill, are headed down to the Global Pet Expo. But before we get to Global, Jill, I've got to ask you one more thing, just off topic, just for a quick second, because I know you're also working to get pets in shelters connected with something so very basic, but really critical, the flea treatment. Just quickly mention that. Tell us what you're doing with that.
Oh, yeah. I'm the spokesperson for a company called Defense, and we launched the campaign in Southampton about 5 weeks ago, where we gave out 1,000 applications.
Wow.
For flea protection. Yeah, they actually donated them to the shelter, and we're hoping to get to many shelters around the country and give out that many applications. As you know, the toy can help them get engaged, but if they walk up to the front of the cage and they're covered in fleas and ticks, people might back off from that animal. Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You like to give them the best shot where they're the healthiest they can be.
There are many shelters that are underfunded. The people who are working at the shelters, their hearts are in the right place. They want to do the right thing, but I know all of them can't necessarily afford all the proper flea and tick treatment or even heartworm medicine. So thank you so much for being the spokesperson for this company, Jill. And say the name of the product again, just so we can all log it.
Paradefense. Yes.
Paradefense. Love it. Like a good way to remember it's like parasite defense, Paradefense. I love that.
And right now it's being sold only on the vet channels. And what we're trying to encourage people is to tell your vets about it so that vets offer it. It's a low-cost protection, and it really gives people an option where they can save money and still do a wonderful thing. So if people can convince their vets to carry it, that would help too. That's why we're trying to give it out to shelters to first raise awareness and help make these animals healthier. And then we would hope that vets will, hear what we're saying and jump on the bandwagon. That stuff is so expensive, right?
Yeah, it is very expensive. That's what I was just going to say. This is sort of like a generic. I don't know if it's exactly, but that's a way to look at it, right? It's sort of like a generic drug humans take. Okay, that's why it's good.
It's very safe. I want to say that because, it only treats for fleas, not ticks. Now, remember.
Okay, flea treatment.
It's cats and dogs, but primarily cats. So it's really, is important, especially these cats that come into the shelters are, usually feral and covered in fleas. So it's a great campaign.
Right. Yeah, my kitty cat was a kitten when we got her, and her mother was a feral cat and had put all the kittens in a pipe between two walls, and they couldn't even get the kittens out. They had to use those little, I don't know what they're called, like a broom thing with a clipper on the end to pull out the little kittens. So Kitty Bitty is my cat, and that's where she came from, and so she's doing all kinds of fun things. But I totally get it about the cats and shelters, so thank you, Jill, for doing that. And now,
how many animals do you have now, Megan?
I have got right now 5. I have Angel, Smiley, Kitty Bitty, Starfire, and Minnie Haha.
and then the horses. How many horses?
The horse, that's Starfire, Minnie Haha, and they all are rescues with dramatic stories. Angel was abandoned 4 times, and the first time was in the high desert as a 4-month-old puppy. And she's one of the most beautiful dogs I've ever seen in my entire life. She looks like she's a just full-blooded German Shepherd, and I think she must have been bred at a puppy mill out in the middle of the desert, and her ears would stand up. She had 2 flop ears, and they were duct taped up in the middle of the desert. So I think that she was just... her ears wouldn't stand up, so they just threw her away. And back to the shelter theme again. Oh my gosh, these dogs that were throwaway dogs, they are worth their weight in gold. They will just save your spirit, is what I have to say. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Believe me, nobody knows more than we do.
That's right.
So
now, let's talk about the Global Pet Expo in Florida, because, Jill, you and Leslie are headed there. And, I got to say, Smiley and I have had so much fun with you, Jill, at the Global Pet Expos. Last year, remember, you put a pie for pups right in my face. Do you remember doing that?
Can you believe that? Yeah, but remember when we first met? We met there. I remember you were sitting in the lobby, and I said, who is this gorgeous girl? A magnificent-looking dog. The two of you look like a Ralph Lauren ad, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
I remember meeting you and saying, oh, my God, and we became instant friends. So we, our whole relationship started at Global, right, Megan?
Yes. We very, very first met at the Genesis Awards, but then we bonded at Global. There's no doubt about that. No doubt.
Because I remember... it was so crazy at Genesis, so where I actually got to sit and talk to you, and you reminded me of that meeting at Genesis.
Yes.
In the lobby at the hotel. I was
absolutely. That's right. Yes.
Right?
Well, Leslie and Jill, this Global Pet Expo is mega huge, like 4 football fields of products. Could you each paint a picture of what the Global Pet Expo is? Can you tell our listeners?
Sure. Well, first of all, there's 1,100 booths there. And when I say booths, these are companies exhibiting, and they're huge. Anything you could think of for a pet is there, whether it's a sombrero for a lizard to dog houses, treadmills for dogs, and food. It's wonderful. And you continuously discover amazing things from smaller companies, that are doing crafty type things to major corporations. But the best thing about it is it's also an opportunity to be with our customers and also let them know who we are and what our message is, as opposed to just seeing them on an appointment. And it's
right.
There's so much energy there, and it's so exciting because it's all for pets, and who doesn't love their pets?
I love that.
And
it's all for pets. And you know what? We need to take a break right now, so we're going to take a really quick break, and then I want to hear more about Global, and I wish we could be there. Okay, Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
When we ran out, we stopped using it.
Why would you stop?
Why undo all the good that's been accomplished? We thought everything was fine, and that was not a good thing.
No.
He started stinking. It was awful.
Shedding comes back, loss of hair, lots of dandruff.
Scratching will return. His shedding will increase.
If I ever took Roy off of Dinovite, he would go back to his hair loss.
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
When I get down to the bottom of my box of Dinovite,
When I get to about 3/4.
Oh no, I've got a couple more scoops.
it's time to place my order. Dinovite.com.
Each and every day she is getting a Dinovite.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dinovite. If it's working, don't quit.
Don't do what I did and run out.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ed Asner, and I'm on a super smiley adventure.
And we're back on a super smiley adventure with the amazing animal advocate, journalist, and award-winning author Jill Rappaport. And we're also here with the Multipet Executive Vice President, Lesile Yellin. Hey, Jill and Leslie.
Hey.
Hey, welcome
Hi.
back to Super Smiley Adventure. So we're talking about the Global Pet Expo, and you both are going to be there. So tell me what you both are going to be doing there at Global.
Well, I actually came in for Multipet. I'm so excited. I'm going to be at their booth, and we have our sample. It's not the totally finished product, but it's definitely going to give, hopefully, many buyers know what's coming down the pike and get them very excited. So I'll be there to talk about our mission and the idea of these toys for rescue, and we will have a sample, and Ruby will be going crazy. And the best way I can describe Global is that you need literally a major foot massage after you go to Global. You are so exhausted. You walk like 20 miles a day, it seems, back and forth and back and forth. And Ruby won't go in a stroller, so I either have to pick her up, and she's 13 pounds, or walk her, but her little 2-inch legs, she gets very tired. So it's the most amazing thing. And, you know, I just am in heaven there. It's like what Leslie was saying, everything under the sun for your beloved animal. And, you know, is it what they say, Leslie, 7 football fields wide?
I've heard something like that, definitely. We're doing something different this year. We I was introduced to a company called Florida Little Dog Rescue, and we built this major playpen in the middle of our booth, and we're going to have their dogs there with their handlers, and they're going to be rotating out a lot, so they're not tired or exhausted, but they've been prepping these dogs for weeks. And people are going to come in and, of course, see our product, but they're going to see these dogs playing with our product, and the dogs are there for adoption. They're not going to just give them away. They're so good at vetting and making sure that they're going to the right home. But if one dog gets a new home, it's going to be amazing. But we're we're making some goals, and we really want to find all these dogs their forever home in our booth.
Lori has the best dog. That's where my family came from. She brought them to Global. That's where I found them.
I remember this. I actually remember this story, Jill. Yes, I do. I do.
And let me tell you something about Lori. You know, it's very funny because we did the View segment, Rappaport to the Rescue. We did it for 6 months. And I used Lori. I think 2 or 3 appearances she would come in. And you know what? Lori is the type of person, literally, that dog, you know, as far as the match. It better be the absolute perfect match. Lori doesn't care who you are or, you know, what your income level is. It has to be the perfect match. It's not just about a home, it's the right home. And I always say to people with Lori's dogs, hey, you know what? I can tell her about you, that you want to adopt them, but it's up to Lori. And Leslie, don't you agree? She is unbelievable
100%.
when it comes to rescuing, when it comes to adopting out those dogs. She will vet you. Literally, to her, it's like adopting out a child. So, it's a very, very important thing, as it should be. If more people were like Lori, we wouldn't have returns.
And Lori has so far placed over 3,600 dogs.
Oh, my.
Unbelievable.
Bless you, Lori.
She's
Big
amazing.
shout out to Lori. I love hearing stories like this. And again, this emphasizes, Jill, what we were talking about at the top of the show, how many dogs and just pets, animals, cats, horses, there are out there that need homes that are just already sitting there waiting. So bless you, Lori and Jill and Leslie, for all that all you all are doing. And Ruby, too. And I want to let you all know that Smiley and I would love to be in Florida at the Global Pet Expo this year, but we had to be in LA because we're working on a film promoting pet adoption that's being presented by Halo and Positively Woof. So we had a
Oh, my
very
gosh, I
exciting-
love that. That's Ellen DeGeneres' company, Halo, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
And they're
that's
going to be
fabulous.
They will be announcing it soon, so that's all I can say about it, except I do want to let you all know with a tiny sneak peek that I'm going to be voicing the cat. So I'm usually playing Super Smiley in our movies, but I'm going to be playing a kitty cat. So I'm really...
Oh, I love that. Good for you.
That's great. That's great.
Well, Megan, so well deserved. Nobody does more than you, believe me.
Oh, Jill.
You're unbelievable.
Well, thank you, Jill. And I'll be missing you all so much, but you'll know that I'm over here doing another thing. We're all doing our own thing. We're all doing things for pet adoption and for the animals. And I wish we all could be in every place at the same time. But Jill, when you figure out how to do that, please let me know, okay?
Well, we're going to send you, Leslie, we have to send her our shelter shakes. Once we get our finished
100%.
product,
100%.
we're going to send you some.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. And speaking of all this adoption and finding the right pet match, which I'm all about, Jill, you mentioned Rappaport to the Rescue, but this is also a new show in development, right? Tell us about this.
That's it. Well, I can't talk it like you, where you can mention a little bit, but it's
Exactly.
like also, I think, we're superstitious too. The good news is there seems to be a want and a need for it, thank goodness, and I'm just so happy that, Animal Planet seems to want it, and so that's what I'm in development literally right now, working on that. And, it's going to be like my show that aired on NBC last year, Best in Shelter, only without the contest element. So it'll only be about finding, multiple dogs in wonderful homes. And
I love this.
I'll have a lot of celebrity support, and we'll travel cross country, in the car. Ruby traveled with me to California and to Colorado for Lindsey Vonn. She was with me the whole way last year. But we're hoping to go crisscross across the country and back and save animals and find beautiful homes. And we'll let people see those homes and meet the families. So I think it's going to be amazing.
I love this. And we wish you the very, very best of luck, Jill.
Thank you so much.
And both to Jill and Leslie, how can we all help you? How can we support you with all of these endeavors and products and everything? Tell us what we can do.
Well, when the product comes out, we're going to let you know. And, we obviously, it'll be available for customers, and we're excited about that. And just, as far as my message is, go out and rescue a pet, adopt, and if you need a toy, think of Multipet. But more important, think of the pet and just do the right thing, because they are just the best pets in the world.
I love that. Absolutely. And Jill, where can we keep up with you? You have so much going on. Do you have your social media or your website? How can we all keep up with you, Jill?
Well, I'm not so great at that. Leslie will tell you. She laughed at me, I know I'm not. I said, look, I'm busy creating my shows and writing and producing and like literally I sit and write the scripts and book the segments, but I do have to get better with social media. I am not great with it, but yes, I will be getting better as these things come to fruition because I have to. I need to get the message out there, and they're all great things that people should know about, and that's why that's the way to do it. On top of wonderful people like you to help promote it.
Well, you know what? I was just going to say something like that. That first of all, I totally understand because I try to do Facebook and Twitter, and Smiley and I are both very active. Oh, and everybody can keep up with us if you go to MeganBlakeOfficial.com. All of our links are there on Facebook under Megan Blake and under Super Smiley, Twitter, Super Smiley Dog, and Megan Blake. But Jill, it is so hard to do everything. And so I was going to say that, Jill, whenever you have something coming up, just call me and we'll get you back on the show. And that's how we'll let everybody know. Does that sound good?
Oh, that would be fabulous. And, hopefully the toy will be finished. I'm going to send you that, and we're very excited. And thank you so much for your support, Megan. You've always been such a dear, good friend and really so supportive of our mission together, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm 1,000,000,000% supportive of you all. And I had so much fun with you, again, with the pie in the face. I cannot believe we did that and that you had that promotion. It was so cute and so fun. A pie for pup. Is that what it was called? Pie for puppies?
Pie for paws. Yes.
Pie for paws. There you go. Pie for paws. And that was to
every
support.
time Dana sees me, she wants to do it. And I said, people just don't want to have pie in their hair, but I did raise a lot of money. I did do very well. We did it like for the last 3 years, but I think we're going to lay off that this year. People are getting a little too messy.
But you know what was fun? Having pie on your face, then the dogs come lick it off of you. To me, that's like heaven.
Oh, I know.
I'm good with you. I'm good. I'm totally good.
No, you were an amazing sport.
Oh, fun. No, I have horses. People who grew up with horses will like do anything. We're used to rolling around in the dirt and everything. So we're good. It's all good. And I mentioned Smiley's kindness movies. I also want to invite everybody to go to kindnessfilms.com to see Super Smiley's dancing and flash mobbing with the Georgia Bulldogs for kindness. And it's just so much fun. Smiley narrates, and everybody's just got to go watch the videos and then share them. So that way you'll help us share kindness around the world. So Jill, with all that you've shared with us, what final thought would you like to leave our listeners with today?
Just go to your local shelter, go online, whatever it takes. I always tell everyone, if we can't get people in, we can't get animals out. And
I love it.
It's so important to get people, and people are turned off. They're afraid. They'll say, I can't handle it. It's too depressing. I said, do you think it's depressing for you? How do you think they feel?
Right.
Like, get over yourself and get in there and save a life. I get angry. I have no patience for that mentality because people aren't understanding how horrific it is. And we who are in these shelters often know what the situation is, and it's just the worst.
Yes, I do. I know how bad it is in many of the shelters, and I also know how great it is when those amazing dogs come home and they save people's spirits, in my mind. They save spirits. That's the only way I know how to put it. Yes. So, Leslie, do you have a final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with? Thank you for joining us, Leslie. I'm so glad you came in on the second segment. So would you like to say something to our listeners?
Well, we are honored to be working with Jill, and we're just so excited again with her message and what she's bringing to Multipet, and she's really bringing her whole rescue philosophy, and it just changes everything. I mean, literally, we've invested so much in this show to get that message of rescue and adoption. And I will say one other thing. Even if you go to the shelters, maybe you're not going to adopt a pet, but volunteer. Like, I bring my kids to play with the cats or walk the dogs. You can still give of yourself and your time to help the animals. They just want love. And that's, again, why this toy is great, because if someone's not there, they can have something to interact with. But
that's so important, because they half the time they're lucky if they get out 1 or 2 walks a day. So the volunteers are key, and the fosters are key. If you can be a foster, they're the mediator between hell and the forever home. So fostering, any type of volunteering is amazing, and they desperately need it. These shelters are so understaffed, and it's such a dire situation. So if you can't take an animal right now, figure out a way to do something.
Right. Just call the shelter and say, I want to volunteer. What can I do? If you don't know where to start, just ask them, what can I do to help? You can even collect blankets, take pictures of the dogs and post them on your Facebook. There's so many things that you can do that don't require you to take a dog home if you can't do that now. So I love all of these suggestions. And Jill Rappaport, Lesile Yellin, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed your Super Smiley Adventure today. Did y'all have fun?
Oh, it was a blast. So much fun.
Great.
A big kiss for me.
Oh, I will do that and give Ruby a big kiss too. And thank you both for joining us. Thank you to our super producer, Mark Winter, for bringing us Super Smiley Adventure out to the world. And from all of us here at Pet Life Radio on a Super Smiley Adventure, we hope you love all your adventures with all your pets. And until next time, woof and super smiles.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.